In far western Kentucky, on a summer evening in the late 1970s, a family was camping in the Land Between the Lakes National Forest, when out of nowhere, they were mauled to death by a cryptic figure that could only be described as a dogman. A large, fierce beast with black hair, resembling an upright humanoid animal hybrid. Allegedly. If that story is to be believed, then an entire family was slain inside their camper that fateful night. And the investigation that would follow would not turn up any useful information for anybody. Some sources claim there was bodies hanging in the trees and entrails all over the place. Others say a family friend that they brought along survived the ordeal and went on to tell the story. And many believe that it's just simply a creepypasta that blew up in popularity. But the more conspiratorial fans of this investigation believe that a para-government agency was there to swiftly clean up the scene before people could get there and see what happened. Whatever the case is, in today's video, I'll be the judge of all of it. I'm hitting the road, heading west to the Land Between the Lakes Park in Kentucky, and I'm getting boots on the ground to investigate this dogman entity. I'm going to be going to where these murders allegedly took place. I'm going to be going to the last known location where this creature was seen back in 2017. And I'm going to be hiking there with nothing but a camera and my two friends to use as bait. And my two friends to help me film. If you watch the Appalachia video, you'll remember Jussie and Cade. So join me on this adventure as we travel to Land Between the Lakes, hike around, and see what we can stir up in regards to the dogman and these murders that it committed. I'll be reviewing interviews from first-hand witnesses, I'll be talking about newspaper reports, or the lack thereof, and at the end of the video, I'll be telling you what I think happened. I'm there in the park for 3 days, you're gonna see it all in this video, so sit back and relax, grab a bucket of popcorn, and enjoy the show. And hopefully not watching me get mauled to death. But before we get into investigating the dogman, a quick word from today's sponsor, Aura. If you've ever wondered how those scammers get your phone number or your email address, and why your inboxes are being blown up by fake emails and spam calls, well, it's because your data is being sold on the internet without your permission to data brokers. Right under your nose. Not only is your personal data being sold, these companies that are selling all of it, they're making billions of dollars. And even though companies are legally obligated to take down your information if you ask them, the processes to do that and to actually get your information taken down, there's a million steps, it's convoluted, and it takes forever. But luckily for you, today's sponsor, Aura, takes care of the hard part by removing information from all of these websites and all of this stuff, and actively keeping that information away from prying eyes that want to steal it. Aura monitors your personal data, including things like your social security number, across millions of data points on the internet. Things like the dark web, public court records that could lead to your identity being stolen. They give you up to $5 million in identity theft coverage in case the worst happens and your identity is stolen. They also have a ton of other features that help you stay safe online and protect your precious information from prying eyes, all located in one convenient app. You can go to my link below in the description, aura.com/spoogly, to get 14 days for free. That is enough time for you to use Aura and see if any of your information is out there on the web and see what actions you can take to get it taken down. I highly recommend that you do that. Check out just how much your information is online, because when I did it, it's kind of terrifying. I typed my own name in, and things that were really personal and really private popped up. It's kind of scary that that information is just out there. So I don't feel like leaving myself vulnerable to these security breaches, and if you also feel the same way, again, check out the top link in the description or the pinned comment, or go to aura.com/spoogly. That's 2 full weeks of Aura for completely free, and check it out yourself, and enjoy the peace of mind that Aura gives you. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and get back to it, shall we? So before I get into my investigation and my filming, I want to go ahead and give you a comprehensive overview of what actually happened, like where this story came from, where the rumors about it came from, what's fact, what's fiction, If it's all fiction, I'm gonna go ahead and put a cohesive story together in this first section. That way you kind of have like a basis of what we're going after. The most popular version of the story is recounted as follows. Sometime in the late 1970s or early 1980s, accounts differ, a family was visiting the Land Between the Lakes park from Florida in their camper RV. They had driven up to an RV site and were hoping to spend the night, enjoy the hiking, the scenery, and what LBL has to offer. When out of nowhere, one night, they were set upon and attacked by what can only be described as the Dogman. A large, 6.5, 7 foot tall beast, stocky in size, hairy all over, and resembling a werewolf in many aspects. It had an animalistic body, a humanoid shape, and a snout with fangs, or so some people say. We'll get to that later. The story goes that this beast circled the RV and eventually pounced on the inhabitants therein. As far as the people affected by this story, again, accounts differ. But most stories include a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, and a friend of that son, like a family friend that they brought with them. One thing leads to another, and this Dogman goes crazy, kills the father, kills the son, rips the daughter and mother out of the RV, and that family friend manages to crawl underneath the camper and survive somehow. Some accounts don't even have this family friend in their retelling, and it's just that one family, and there's no survivors. Instead, that family just ends up disembodied around the campsite. Following that account of the story, when people got there and saw what happened, the daughter's body was up in a tree a few feet away, and it was bleeding profusely, and she was, ripped in half, and there were slash marks all over everything, and the trailer was ripped into pieces. That's kind of the internet-ified story. The only culprit that could be assumed to have caused this grisly scene was the beast of the LBL, the Dogman. Although I couldn't find an actual original source for Native American Dogmen, there are Native American tales of Bigfoots or Saskets and things of that nature. It's interesting to see what might have been kind of misinterpreted over the years or reinterpreted in a different way of what could have been this Dogman creature. Because things like this don't just come out of nowhere. There's probably some kind of basis where it came from. Or it could have just been made up, I don't know. But the most intriguing account of this story is from a man named Roger. Now, Roger actually has a YouTube channel on here, and he claims that he was that family friend, that young boy, the friend of the son, who got invited on the trip and who witnessed the entire family get killed by this beast. Now I'm going to go over and tell you his account. I'll leave a full interview below in which he included all the details, but I'll give you the cliff notes here. Roger claims that when this all began, he was inside the camper with everybody else, and he was kind of just sitting there when all of a sudden he heard a bunch of yelling and a bunch of ruckus outside of the camper. Before he knew it, the front door swung open, and it was the father of his friend who reached inside to grab a shotgun from behind the seat. The father was named Levi, and Levi went in to grab this gun, and of course everybody's kind of freaking out at this moment. But while this all was happening, the second he grabbed the gun, Roger looked outside and he saw what he claims to be was a large 6.5 foot tall creature with thick black hair, not fur, hair. He makes sure to be very specific about that in his interview. He doesn't say the creature looked to be a werewolf or a Bigfoot. He just said it was a large creature that had black hair and was inhumanly fast. Roger then claims that Levi, the dad, shot at the creature and hit it in the upper back, lower neck area, like back there, and it didn't really phase it. The gun he was using was a 20 gauge shotgun, which you might think a shotgun is pretty effective, but as any gun enthusiast knows, range is a factor in everything. If it was a 12 gauge or a 30-06, he probably would have blown his head off, but it wasn't, it was a 20 gauge. Anyways, Roger then claimed that after Levi was killed, his friend Steven, which is his friend that he was on the trip with, then got killed too. He was outside and he got scraped away. So at this point, the father and the son are already dead, and Roger doesn't know what to do. He's kind of freaking out, obviously, and he grabs his own shotgun. He grabs his 410, which is kind of like a starter shotgun. It's a shotgun you get when you're a kid. If you're from the country, it's not really impactful. They can do some damage for groundhogs or possums or something, but he grabs a shotgun and he waits out the door, and he fires the second it runs past this beast, and he hits it in the shoulder blade area. After he hits this beast, he claims that it runs away, and somehow maybe that injured him. If this is a real story, I'm assuming that Levi had hit him with his 20 gauge in the upper back, lower neck, and Roger hit him kind of close in the shoulder blade, so it probably hurt pretty bad. I would say getting shot twice hurts. Anyways, when the creature ran off, Roger ran out of the camper, jumped under it, and hid beneath the engine bay, thinking that it would give him some kind of cover. In his recounting of the story, he thought that the mother and the daughter were following him under to do the same thing, but before he knew it, the creature came back and actually reached into the camper and got up in there and killed the mother and the daughter. Roger then says, contrary to the popular story, Roger says that the daughter's body was not hanging in a tree like 50 feet away or 50 feet in the air. In fact, it was just at the edge of the camper. But whatever the case is, at this point in Roger's story, the entire family's dead, but he's alive. He also said something very interesting when he alleged that the creature that came back was a different creature, not the same one. Like, they were the same species, but it wasn't the same instance. This is a different one that came back to kill the mom and the daughter. Whatever the case is, after those creatures got done killing that entire innocent family, they allegedly run away. Roger would climb out from underneath the engine bay, and he would run to the nearest road and try to wave down a passerby. Eventually, he finds this farmer. They go to his house, they call the police, and this is where the story kind of gets little iffy for me and others. Roger claims that by the time they got back to the scene, kind of a paramilitary, para-government organization was already there, quarantining it off and shutting it down. Roger again claims that they found the actual creature, the one they shot, dead in a tree a few hundred feet away, and they were containing and disposing of the body when they got back. So Roger's claiming that this was sort of a government cover-up. They knew about these things, maybe they were like test subjects, maybe they were trying to get contained. I don't know. I'll investigate shortly. Whatever it was some kind of beast that he never calls a werewolf or a dogman, by the way. That's not in Roger's account, but it was some kind of beast that killed his friend's family. And he has told this same story pretty consistently, from what I can tell, for the past 20 or so years. Again, you can check out his YouTube channel below and a couple interviews with other YouTube channels. You can see for yourself. You can choose your own belief. But Roger's account is much more believable in my eyes than that kind of fantasized account earlier where there was blood everywhere and bodies in the trees and guts everywhere. That kind of reads more like a creepypasta or like a Reddit post or something to me. If somehow this event did occur, it would probably be more like what Roger had described. Doubters and skeptics and detractors of this story point to the fact that there was no publication released about this, no investigation, no newspapers, nothing. There was no reporting done at all about an entire family that got killed by a dogman. But people that are for Roger's story say that the reason there was none of that is because it was covered up by that government organization. Which, yeah, the government's covered up stuff before, but it would be kind of hard to cover up an entire family being killed in a park. Right? Whatever the case is, we'll get to the bottom of it. With every good investigation, there's about 1,000 ways you can look at something. You can look at the original story, where there's blood and guts and bodies ripped in half. You can look at Roger's story. You can look at the conspiracy theorist story. You can look at every single angle that you want, but when push comes to shove, you kind of just have to get out there and form your own opinion. Before I get into my on-the-ground investigation, I do want to prop up a few other theories and a few other facts. Obviously, I'm sure many of you, and myself included, think this story reads like a creepypasta from like a no-sleep Reddit post or something. A killer monster murdering a family, getting the government cover-up involved, it really does. There's no police reports, there's no newspaper reports, there's no missing people or anything from that time period. And since it happened in an unconfirmed date in the 70s or 80s, facts and stuff could have been embellished. But the wilderness in Kentucky is ancient. It feels old. Feels wise even, and many parts of it feel alive and sentient. And if you've not been in the woods or if you haven't grown up in this region, it's kind of different if you're not from here. And this family was from Florida, allegedly. The internet has made people believe that the lands around here are cursed and have wendigos running around and that kind of thing. But it's truly a beautiful place. The lands at LBL are no different. It's this beautiful, massive park of forests and rivers and lakes. And it's an old place. It's ancient. So while there might not be a giant dogman there, the jury's still out on that one, it is creepy. It is scary and lonely. It is liminal. It is ethereal. There's a steady population of black bear that live inside the park as well, so that could be what they saw, maybe. I mean, I think you'd be able to tell what a black bear is. I don't know. There's also a large number of wild hogs that run loose in the park that are illegally dumped there. And if anybody knows anything about the woods, wild hogs are dangerous. One of the most dangerous things you can run into. They're very aggressive, very territorial. I don't think this was a wild hog that allegedly killed this family. But with most things like this, true information is hard to find, which again is why I'm investigating this myself and hiking in the woods there and to see what I can scrounge up. So with the story out of the way, with the theories out of the way, with my preconceived notions out of the way, let's hit the road and let's go to the Land Between the Lakes Park and let's see if I can stir up a dogman and feed my friends to it. Shall we?
This place really is beautiful. I've been here for a couple days now. We rented a lake house, and every single thing here is remote, right? It kind of feels like you're in the middle of nowhere wherever you go. The woods are thick. Just here at the house, I've stirred up a bunch of deer, and I think I saw a bear, perhaps. So it's been wildlife intensive. And if the stories are true, that means that there's food for this eldritch horror to eat, including me. Essentially, the main story goes that family that was out camping in the LBL Preserve in their camper. And in the middle of the night, some strange things started happening. They started hearing sounds like something huge is walking out around their camper. And obviously this is terrifying if you're alone in the woods and something's walking around big enough to hear it. They kind of went to investigate. One thing led to another, and they see this dogman. It was reported to be over 7 foot tall, stocky, quick, nimble, and aggressive. Very, very aggressive. And that's the initial reporting. Now, some stories and kind of rundowns of the event and go even further, and they say that the dogman opens the camper door, rips the dad out, slays him, and then does the same to the mother and then the sister. Now, the origins of this creature and its lore and its mythos is pretty scattered. There's not really one congruous report, but some people say that it goes all the way back to the Native American days. All of the stories pretty much align to the same end, with the means being slightly different. Today's objective is pretty simple. We're gonna head over to the LBL Park and we're gonna drive up through the entirety of it, all the way to a trailhead called the Hotel California Trail. The reason this is significant is because that's the last place that this dogman was seen. Back in 2017, people were hiking around this abandoned structure called Hotel California, and they looked over to their left and they thought they saw the dogman. But allegedly, if the story is to be believed, they also found footprints at the same site. Footprints were large and canine-like, but also kind of bipedal. So I don't know about all that, but we're gonna figure it out today. And we'll see if we can scrounge this puppy up.
It's raining, boys. Let's hunt for a dogman.
I think this is a deer print. Yeah, these are deer. You can see it's coming through here like that. The little hooves. I did see something over here. This is pretty strange. Here's another one. I believe that's deer? I think it is. But I saw like this weird print, which, you know, I wear size 12s, by the way. And it kind of looks like a deer here, but also there's like some kind of maybe toe indentions. I don't know, that was very strange. But I noticed that the first day I was here.
Okay, you know what you should do? Just go to that in the woods, and I'll give you $100 if you get poison ivy. Smith Cemetery Road.
On the trail over to the Hotel California house. This is allegedly the last sighting of the dogman back in 2017. There's a massive hole in the ground. What is that about? Also rocks in the road. Looks like the road's caving away. Apparently somebody saw it here, maybe even a footprint or two, but it's like a mile in, mile out, so let's get it.
It is a gully washer. Oh God, we're back to the road. No! Wrong turn of the fork. Other than a torrential downpour, it's a decent hike out here. Here it is. Gotta cross the creek. Woo! A little mud on the shoe. Never hurt nobody. Here we go. Dang, it's Grippos.
No way.
Good old Cade found this little paper. I got it. Okay, good old Jussie found this paper. Let's see what it says. Spooky Doo files, destination unknown, passing time, and drying eyes. Free yourself. Bigfoot. There's the date right there. Look at all this. Still standing. There's Jerry. That's my name. It ain't me, babe. Look at this. This is the last known sighting of the alleged Dogman entity. It was seen somewhere around here. There's a footprint found. And this is the telltale location where that happened. This is crazy, bro. It was right over here where the last sighting happened, somewhere over there. And they found a footprint and everything, but now it's just, there's nobody here. It's raining, but it is kind of creepy, like over there. Kind of strange. It's a cool place though. I don't see anything, but he might still be out there. Well, we didn't see Dogman, but we did hear something like a growl in the woods earlier, which was strange. And Kate heard it too, so who knows? Maybe he's around here somewhere, but I can't see him yet. Maybe we'll see him on the way out. It is really pretty, and if you come here on an off day when it's raining, there's nobody out here. So now we're gonna walk all the way back to the truck and probably get soaking wet in the process. Oh God. But that's part of the fun, right? But yeah, I'll catch you guys up when we get back. We're back to the road. It has stopped raining. No Dogman yet. We got about a mile to go. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna use them as bait, so it's okay. Made it back to the truck, going back to the house now. Danny's first time in the boat.
Horses don't stop. They keep going.
Okay, so did I find the Dogman? No, I didn't. Did I have a fantastic time exploring the LBL park? And low-key, did I hear some weird things in the woods? Yeah, I did. Those 3 different occasions I heard strange, like, howls, but they definitely weren't dogs because we were in the park and it was too far away from any road to be like tires squeaking or something. That was weird. I also did find a couple strange footprints that were not deer. I'm not sure what that was. So I didn't see Dogman. I didn't get mauled to death by Dogman, but I did get to explore a beautiful part of Kentucky, and I did get to dive deep into this legend and this story, and I had a fantastic time doing it. My ultimate conclusion and what I think happened is that this didn't happen. I don't think these murders by the Dogman happened. I think people have seen strange things in the wilderness that they can't explain, so they chalk it up to this. And, you know, somebody that's been in the woods before like me, I understand. It feels weird out there, and when you have all your guards down, you feel out of your element. But since there's no actual evidence of this happening, and very minimal evidence of a cover-up from Roger, I don't think it actually did happen. But if it did, that was awesome. Maybe it did, who knows. It still makes for a fantastic story, and I really loved making this documentary on exploring it. I'm sure some of you are upset that I'm not drooling over the conspiracy theory part of it, but if you want more on-the-ground documentaries like this one and like my Ghost Towns of Appalachia video, make sure to tell me in the comments below. That way I actually know. If you want to support me, the best way to do so is by leaving a like on the video. That kind of puts the video out to the algorithm more, and it really helps me out. And it's free, too. Thank you all for your support over on this spoogly channel. This is such a fulfilling channel to create content for, and I love and appreciate each and every one of you for sticking around to watch it. Thank you for all that you do. And with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you next time. Bye.